Hi, I'm Josette Vargas, and today we are discussing what is feature writing. I interviewed 3 experts in writing and wanted to know what they thought. The first, Tobias Xavier Lopez, previously a writer for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram for 12 years. Second, Lee Newquist, owner and publisher of the local Fort Worth Weekly newspaper. And lastly, professional journalist Bob Ray Sanders of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Mr. Lopez, how long have you been in the industry?
I started my full-time professional career as a staff sports writer with the Fort Worth Star-Telegram on July 29th of 1999.
Okay, great. And what is feature writing to you?
You know, as a sports writer, it's a lot of fun to go watch a game and write a report on it. But as a writer, the feature story is when you really get to show your worth as a writer. You know, writing a feature is where you really get to tell the story of somebody, whether it's a heartwarming story, whether it's a tragic story. That's where you really get to show what you have as a writer, and it was actually one of my favorite parts of writing, because you can write a feature story about someone, and years later you might see their cousin or their friend or their mother or whoever and say, "Man, I remember that story you told about that person, and that really touched me, or that moved me," or we still have that feature story in our scrapbook back home, and that's where you really get to, like I said, flex your muscles as a writer and really get to reach people, more than in most other your generic news type of story.
Great, thank you. Mr. Newquist, how
Yes.
long have you been in this industry?
33 years.
Wow. And what is feature writing to you?
Feature writing to me is the writing style of telling a good story. And it doesn't start off with headlines, it doesn't start off with shocking things. It's basically introducing readers to a good, solid story of human interest, whether that's arts, entertainment, culture, comparison, things like that. It's a very artistic story or artistic way to allow a reader to understand a story. Again, a story that can involve many different things, but a much more elaborative style than just the points of who, what, when, where, and why. Many news stories are 200 words. If you look at our paper and the kind of things that we do, our stories are 1,000 words, sometimes 2,000 words, and sometimes 3,000 words. It's more magazine style feature writing than anything like the weather, the war, and sports.
Great.
So that's my feeling, and our paper is filled with mostly feature writing, very little news, because that's what we're good at, and that's what we have our writers focus on.
Mr. Sanders, how long have you been in this industry?
Well, I've been a professional journalist for 40 years, radio, television, and newspapers, so I've done it all.
Okay, great. And what is feature writing to you?
Well, unlike a news story that gives you just the facts, the 5 W's and the H, a good feature story will have some emotion and feeling, perhaps even tug at the heart, causing the reader to react, whether positively or negatively, empathetically or not so. In addition, it should have some color, more description, paint a picture of the person, the place, the surroundings. The readers not only should be able to hear that story as if it's being told to them, they should be able to see it.
There you have it from some of the best in the profession. Thank you for listening. This has been Josette Vargas.